I'll never forget the feeling in the stadium that night. From the second Sanders stepped onto the field in his very first preseason game, you could sense something was different. The lights seemed brighter, the air felt heavier, and the crowd leaned in just a little closer. This wasn't the nervous energy you usually see from a rookie quarterback. No, this was a young man who had been preparing for this exact moment his whole life. Every snap was decisive. Every throw had conviction. He didn't just run the offense. He took control of it. And for those 4 quarters, it looked like Cleveland might have finally found their quarterback of the future. It's the kind of player who, identity of a franchise, but football has a way of flipping the script in the blink of an eye. Instead of the city rallying behind their new star, the narrative started to twist almost immediately. At first, it was just murmurs, small whispers about friction in the building, about coaches who weren't ready to hand him the keys. But whispers have a way of gaining momentum. Before long, those whispers became headlines. Then the headlines turned into a bombshell that shook the entire NFL. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, the man whose opinion matters more than anyone, when it comes to this team's direction, made it clear that Sanders wasn't part of his long-term plan. Hearing those words was like a gut punch. How could a coach look at a performance like that and decide the future didn't include the guy who just lit up the field? The shock didn't stop there. Word started spreading that Sanders himself had asked to be put on the trade list. About that? One preseason game, one electrifying debut, and already he's looking for a way out. And the craziest part? The fans are right there with him. The front office is being flooded with calls and messages demanding that if Cleveland won't commit to him, then they should let him go. Social media is in overdrive. Analysts across the country are weighing in. And what started as a Browns story is now a league-wide drama. I'll say this without hesitation. Clip it. Save it. Call me out later if you want. Sanders is ready to lead this team to the playoffs this year. Not next year, not in 3 years, but right now. And with the right pieces around him, maybe even a Super Bowl run isn't out of the question. But instead of building momentum around him, instead of giving him every rep possible to grow into that role, the Browns are hesitating. And hesitation in the NFL is dangerous. It's how you lose the kind of player you only get once in a generation. The timing makes it even worse. If Sanders doesn't get meaningful starting reps in these final preseason games, it's not just a missed opportunity, it's a step backward. We've already seen what happens when he's trusted with the offense. He plays with rhythm, with poise, and with the kind of natural leadership you can't teach. Keeping him on the sidelines now would be like putting a lid on a fire that's just starting to burn. It's not just bad football strategy. It's actively stunting the development of a potential franchise quarterback. Even Shannon Sharpe weighed in. And honestly, he hit the nail on the head. He said, "Stop telling me what the kid can't do. Your job as a coach is to put players in position to succeed. Find what they can do and build on it." And he's right. Yet in Stefanski's most recent press conference, not a word about his strengths, his growth, or the fact that he's already shown the ability to perform at a high level under pressure. It's like the upside doesn't even register in the conversation. And so, here we are. A rookie quarterback who has already proven he belongs in the NFL, a fan base desperate for change, a head coach who doesn't seem to see the future standing right in front of him. This isn't just a football decision anymore, it's a crossroads. If the Browns get this wrong, they won't just lose a quarterback. They'll lose the spark, the hope, and maybe the only real shot they've had in years to change their story. And I'm telling you right now, if that happens, this city won't forget it. Before we dive into everything that's been unfolding, I want you to hear this for yourself. Not from me, not from the headlines, but straight from Kevin Stefanski's mouth. I thought the guys did a really nice job of age of Sanders and operating the guys making plays. So, again, a ton to teach off of them. That's it. That's the full answer. No spark. No real conviction. No genuine excitement over what we all just watched happen on that field. If that's praise, it's the most half-baked praise I've heard in a long time. And then, as if on cue, he pivots to the worn-out safety net every coach falls back on. There's still a lot to work on. Really? Coach? That's all you've got after a rookie just marched into his first NFL appearance and absolutely lit the place on fire. We're talking about a debut that had fans buzzing, analysts leaning forward in their seats, and opponents whispering on the sidelines. And your reaction is a lukewarm nod and a reminder to work on things. 'Cause I watched that game, and I know you did too. And everything you said he couldn't do, he did. Poise. Check. Accuracy. Under pressure. Command of the offense. Check. He was doing things in real time that you told us weren't in his toolbox yet. Not only did he pull it off, he made it look natural. This isn't new either. We've seen it before at Jackson State, at Colorado. The stage changes, the competition changes, but the result stays the same. Sanders delivers, and then you've got Uncle O who came out and said exactly what I've been thinking since the final whistle. Let's be real, Sanders is doing this with third and fourth string guys. He's not out there with your star wideouts, your Pro Bowl lineman, your #1 tight end. He hasn't had the chemistry that comes from working with the starters. Heck, he hasn't even had much time with the second string. In fact, he's barely getting reps at all. And still, he puts on a performance that turns heads league-wide. That's not a coincidence. That's not one lucky night. That's the mark of a quarterback who has been quietly sharpening his blade, waiting for the moment when he gets to swing it. But here's where this story gets less about football and more about politics. The whispers are getting louder. Stefanski didn't pick Sanders. Andrew Berry didn't pick Sanders. This was a Jimmy Haslam pick. And when a player comes in who wasn't your guy, sometimes the evaluation gets cloudy. The leash gets shorter. The opportunities get tighter. It stops being about who gives you the best chance to win and starts being about whose vision is going to lead the franchise. And now, we've reached the breaking point. Sanders has officially asked to be put on the trade list. Think about that? We're not talking about a disgruntled vet with a decade of baggage. This is a rookie who just made one of the most eye-opening preseason debuts in recent memory. And he's already looking for the exit. This isn't just a get-me-out-of-here moment. It's a statement. It's Sanders saying, I know what I'm capable of, and if you won't give me the platform to show it, I'll find somewhere that will. That's not immaturity. That's ambition. That's self-belief. That's a young quarterback taking control of his career before it gets stuck in neutral. And believe me, teams are watching. The Rams are already sniffing around. And you can bet there are more. Teams that understand exactly what kind of potential they'd be getting if they'd pulled the trigger. Put Sanders in the right system with a coach who believes in him, a line that protects him, and weapons that can stretch the field, and we might be talking about one of the biggest what could have been stories the Browns have ever created. So now Cleveland is on the clock. Do you double down, commit to the kid, and finally give him the first team reps to see what he can do at full power? Or do you cut ties, take the draft picks, and pray you don't see him carving up your defense in another jersey a year from now? And here's where I want to hear from you. If you were in Sanders' position, would you stay and fight it out? Try to win over a coaching staff that might never have wanted you in the first place? Or would you take the leap and go somewhere that's ready to hand you the keys? And if he does get traded, what's the perfect fit? The Rams, the Falcons, maybe a team no one's even thinking about right now. Because, make no mistake, this isn't just another depth chart debate. This is one of the most fascinating quarterback sagas we've seen in years. And we are nowhere near the end of it. And if you've been locked in with me all the way to this point, you already know this story is just heating up. We're going to keep following every twist, every leak, and every move until we know exactly where Sanders' journey leads. So here's what I need you to do. Smash that like button if you want the Browns front office to finally make a decision. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update. And drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, and I want to know exactly where you stand on this. Are you team keep Sanders, or team let him walk? Either way, buckle up, because this is the kind of NFL drama you can't script. And I'll be here to tell you every part of it.